Hi, and welcome to Fun Maths with Kenny. So this is EdExcel 2026 predicted paper from Maths Genie. Okay, shout out to them. They just have an amazing website, mathsgenie.com. You can get papers on all of that from the website. Okay, so we'll get to this paper quickly. Yes, 2026 predicted paper, and I can tell you a lot of these questions, you see similar things in the exam. Okay, so zero point 0.4 as a percentage. Most of you know this by now. This is 40%, right? 0.2, 20%, 0.8, 80%, 0.4, 40%. Square root of 81. What number times itself is 81? That's 9. Okay. Number 3 question. A multiple of 8 between 20 and 24. 8, 16, 24. 24 is a multiple of 8 between 20 and 30. Then we go to number 4, a plus a plus a plus a. So a is the same as 1a. So 1a plus 1a plus 1a, 1 in 4 places, that is 4a. 1/5 of 200, remember off is times. So up times up divided by down. 200 divided by 5, simply put 40. We go to the next one. There are 3 liters of paint in a tin. Amira uses 400 milliliters. Take note, 1 liter is 1000 milliliters. That's what they want you to do here. So 3 liters will be 3 times 1000, which is 3000. So 3000 minus 400, simply put, 2600 milliliters. Yes, the answer is 2600 milliliters. We go to 7. Steve buys some light bulbs. Each light bulb costs £3. Steve pays with a £20 note. He gets £8 chain. How many light bulbs Steve buys? So what do? You can take away the change, okay? Always take away the change. So 20 minus 8, that will give you 12. That means what he spent was 12, since it's still getting £8. So 3 times what is 12? How many 3's can you get in 12? Simply put 4. Okay, so the answer is 4. We move to this one. Here is a list of 8 letters. Write down the mode. Mode is the most frequent. Don't forget, mean is average, median is middle, mode is the most frequent number. Okay, and range is the highest minus lowest. So which number do you see more times than others? Definitely A. One of the letters is picked at random. On the probability scale, mark the probability that the letter will be B. How many B's do we have? 2, okay, out of 8. So just look for, if 1 is 8 over 8, and you're looking for 2 out of 8. So you can just go 1, you mark them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So obviously 2 out of 8 is here, okay, or a quarter. So that is the probability, 2 out of 8. All right, write the probability that this letter will be E. So what's the probability of picking E? E is just 1 out of 8 in all. So probability of that will be 1 over 8. So probability of picking E is 1 over 8. Okay, let's keep going to the next one. Write down the coordinates of A. A is xy to -3. Okay, so coordinates of A is going to be 2 and -3. And for the next one, 2 and -3, do not write outside of the box. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, on the grid, mark with X the point 3, -1, and label B. So the point 3, -1. So let's find it. X is 3, Y is -1 right here. Okay, so that's point 3, -1. Then usually the next question should be the midpoint of AC. So where is AC? This is A and this is C. Well, if you use a straight ruler, you might be able to see it. And if not, if you don't use a ruler, you can easily do x1 plus x2 divided by 2, okay? y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Remember, for this one, this is 2, -3 for A, and C is 1, 3 as well. So if you want to get the midpoint, you can pick 2 and 1. So 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. So you can see if it was with a ruler, it would go to 1.5. And then for the y-axis, we have 3 plus -3, which is 0. Okay, 0 divided by 2 is 0. So the midpoint is 1.50. All right, good. We go to the next one. Okay, pictograms. Yeah, this is common. So write down the number of books sold in March. Each of this is 8, right? So if each of this is 8, March is 8 plus 8 plus 8. Now, if the full thing is 8, how do you get 1 box? 8 divided by 4, which is 2. So 8 plus 8 plus 8, that's 24 plus 2, which is 26. Then the next one, 14 books were sold in April. We did this in the last video. So 14 in April, you just represent that. So we have 14. 14 is 8 plus 6, right? So you should always use a ruler, please, okay? To make it really neat and straight. So you have 14. How do you do 14? You got the 8, and then you can do the 6. 6 is like 3 boxes. So you got this. You're not going to draw the last one. And then you should take this. It should be here. So this last space does not exist. Okay. Then the next thing they said, add up for the total for the 4 months. So I'm sure you can do that. You just add for each 8, 8, 4. Okay. Add for each of them and you get the total. Okay, let's move on to the next question. The size of the angle marked X. So this is a point. Angle at a point is 360 degrees. Okay, you should always remember. So all of them add up to 360. You got 305. How do you get X? 360 minus 305. Okay, and that will simply give you 55 degrees. A student says that an angle of 305 degrees is an obtuse angle. The student is wrong. Yes, the student is wrong because obtuse is greater than 90 and less than 180. So if the angle is obtuse, it should be between 90 and 180, but it's not the case. So the student is wrong. Okay, looking at this question, we have 12 muffins, ingredient for 12 muffins. Gary wants to make 36. So 36 is 12 in 3 places. How much sugar? So 100 grams for 12. Okay, to make 36, 12, 12, 12. 100, 100, 100, or 100 times 3. Simply put, 300 grams. We go to the next one, ratio, 18 apples to 30 oranges. Write the ratio in the simplest form. So 18 over 30. We can reduce, okay, you can use 2 to divide. You can use 6, okay. So let's use 6. 6 here will give me 3 and 6 will give me 5. So 3 over 5, simply put, 3 ratio 5. Here is a number machine. The input is 6. So 6 times 5 is 30. 30 plus 3, that will simply give us 33. Find the input when the output is 58. So the output is 58. How do you get the input? What you're going to do, you're going to do the reverse, okay? The opposite of everything you see. You see plus 3 here, you do the opposite, minus 3. 58 minus 3, that will give us 55. You see times 5 here, do the opposite, divide by 5, and that will give you 11. Okay, so the answer to that one will be 11. And if you test it, it works. Okay, test it to see it works. All right, we go to 15. Increase 280 by 5%. You can easily get 10% by dividing by 10. Okay, any number you want to get 10%, divide by 10. So 280 divided by 10, that will give you 28. Okay. Now remember, 5 is half of 10, right? So if 10% is 28, then 5% is half of 10%. So what is half of 28? Which is 14. So that means 5% is 14. So they're saying that increase 280 by 5%, which is 14. So 280 plus 14, that will simply give you 294. We go to 16. Work out an estimate for the value of 86 times that. Okay, so if you round it up, 86 will simply give you 90. Okay, then 1.65 is going to give you 2. So 90 times 2, you can just say it is 180. That's the estimate. Okay, so look at the second one. 2.56 times 3.2 is this. Work out the value of this. So for, if you do times 100, if you watch what happened here, times 100, for 256 to become 256, you times 100, right? For 3.2 to become 32, you times 10. So in all, you times 1000 by moving 3 places to the right. So when you move 3 places to the right, it simply gives you 8192. Remember, you're not using a calculator, you have to use strategies. Okay, we go to the next question. This is when negative goes to the right, it turns to positive. So you have 9x is greater than 32 plus 4. Okay, it becomes 36 over 9 over 9. Since 9 is there, divide both sides by 9. So x is greater than 4. X is greater than 4. We go to 18. Describe the transformation that maps from A to B. So what do? It's the same thing. You know, when it comes to transformation, there's enlargement, there's translation, there's rotation, there's reflection. So this is clearly a translation because the same thing is in A and B. It's just in a different location. So it's a translation, okay? Translation by what? If you look at it, this moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So to x-axis, it moved 6, and to y-axis, it moved 1, 2, 3. Okay, no, if you look at it this way, it was right here, so it moved just 1, 2. So this is 6, 2. Okay, a translation by the vector 6, 2. Then we look at this. The perimeter is 55. So perimeter means you add around the shape. Okay, so add all the x, then add the numbers. X plus 2x plus x plus 2x. So x plus 2x is 3x. 3x plus x is 4x. 4x plus another 2x is 6x. So you have 6x for the x. For the numbers, 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 minus 4 is 1. Okay, so 6x plus 1 is equal to 55. So take away 1 from 55, that will give you 54. So 6x is equal to 54. 6 times the number is 54, and this is 5, please. And that will give you 9. So you can say that x is 9. Okay, so if x is 9, what is length AB? Length AB is 2x minus 4. Okay, mind you, we got x as 9. So 2 times 9 minus 4. 2 times 9 is 18. 18 minus 4 is 14. So AB is clearly 14 centimeters. Okay, so if you have not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to Fun Maths with Kenny. Thank you, and drop a like for this video. It means a lot. Okay, give your answer as a mixed number. How do you do that? This is quite common. Make the denominators the same. So 2 plus 1, that will give you 3 whole number. Then how do you make the denominators the same? They have to be over 20. So on this side, you do times 4 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16, and 5 times 4 is 20. So this is 16 over 20. Plus, on the right side, you do times 5 times 5. Okay, and that will give you 15 over 20. So 16 plus 15 is 31. So 3 whole number, 31 over 20. You can make 31 over 20 a mixed number. 1 whole number, 11 over 20. So 3 plus 1 is 4. Okay, so it becomes 4 whole number. Since you replace that with this, 4 whole number, 11, okay, over 20. And that is the final answer. Don't forget, do not write in the space, okay? Now, show that this is this. Don't forget, division of fractions is all about keep, change, flip. Keep the first one the same, okay? So this is 7 over 4. You change division to times. Then 2, 4 over 5. That's 14 over 5. So you flip 14 over 5. It becomes 5 over 14. So this is 7 goes here 1. 7 goes here 2. And obviously it is 5 over 8, which tells you that it is correct. We go to the next question. 17.76 divided by 0.12. So what do you do? 17.76. You're not using a calculator for this, so you should be able to do that manually. So you move 2 places to the right. We go 1, 2, and move another 2 places to the right. You go 1, 2. So that is 17.76 divided by 12. And when you do this division, okay, that will give you 148. All right, let's go. Let's go. Simultaneous equation. Yes, you should have an idea how to do this because it's likely going to be there. So how do we do simultaneous equation? What you do is you need to eliminate either x or y. So if you want to make x the same, let's say this is 3 already, you can multiply the second one by 3, okay, so that you have a new equation. So 3 times x is 3x minus 3 times 5y is 15y is equal to 3 times 16, which is 48. So you have this equation. You can take off the second one. Okay, we don't need that. So what do you do? This is equation 1 and this is equation 2. The 3x plus y equals 8. So equation 1 minus equation 2. Okay, so how do you do that? 3x minus 3x is 0. Y minus 15. Okay, remember negative is positive. So y minus 15, that's y plus 15, which is 16y. All right, equals 1 okay, you have 8 here. 8 minus 48. So 8 minus 48 is negative 40. So if you divide both sides by 16, divide by 16, divide by 16, okay, 16 would divide 16. And here you can use 8, 8 here 5, and 8 here 2. So negative 5 over 2, which is negative 2.5. So y is negative 2.5. You can go put it in to find x. So come back to equation 1. 3x plus negative 2.5. So 3x minus 2.5 is equal to 8. Negative goes to the right, becomes positive. So 3x is equal to 8 plus 2.5, which is 10.5. And 10.5, you divide both sides by 3, okay, which is 3.5. So x is 3.5 and y is negative 2.5. Okay, we have number 23. In a bag, there are counters, red, blue, or yellow. Okay, so the number of red to blue to yellow is 4 to 3 to 6. Okay, so The number of yellow counters is 39 more than the number of blue counters. Okay, so how do you get the number of yellow counters usually? You will pick the ratio for yellow, which is 6, over the total ratio, add the ratios together. 4 plus 3 is 7, 7 plus 6 is 13. So 6 over 13 multiplied by the total. But we don't know the total, so let's say it's x. So if we're going to get for yellow 6 over 13 times x, they now said is 39 more than the number of blue. So is means equal to 39 more than, that's you add the number of blue. How do you get the number of blue? You take the ratio for blue, which is 3, divide by the total ratio, okay, which is 13, and multiply by what you're sharing, which is x. So we're going to use this equation to solve it. How do we do that? Collect like terms, bring this to this side. So you have 6x over 13 minus 3x over 13. So that positive became negative, and this is equal to 39. So what do we do next? 6x minus 3x, they're like terms, so that's 3x over 13, pick one of the 13, is equal to 39. So what do? You can simply cross multiply, okay? So you can simply cross multiply the butterfly method. 3 times 13 times 39, divide by 3, okay? So 3x is equal to 13 times 39. And take note, you don't need to work out the 13 times 39. No, you don't need to do that because you're likely going to use it. So then divide both sides by 3. So divide by 3 here, divide by 3 here. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. And 3 in 39, then divide, and that will give you 13. So you're left with 13 times 13, which is 169. So that tells you that the total number of counters was 169. That is. Okay, so here we have this Venn diagram. I'm sure most of you don't have issues with this, but let's still look at it together. So what do you do here? They said you first of all pick what is in all of them. Okay, so in all of them you can see 7. Okay, then you know that's gone already. In A and B you can see 29. In B and C you can see 15. Okay, then you put all others. So you can just put your 523. Okay, remaining here, 523 here. Okay, sorry, this is 23. Okay, and then the next one, you have 11, only 11, since we put 15, 7, and 29. And over here, you got 17. So this one has more, you got 19. And then you have 25 and 27. Okay, so you got all of that. So that's just it. Then, oh, we have some of them not represented because what they said is all odd numbers less than 30. So when you look at it, 1, 3, 5. So you have some not there. You have 3, not there. You have 9. You have 13. You have 21. So you have to think of the odd numbers, okay, less than 30. So those ones are there. Now the next thing they're asking us is, so just to complete the table, okay, to complete the Venn diagram, okay? So that is it. All right. We go to 25. Pay attention to this kind of questions. Okay, I'm spending more time on this because I know they have more maths. Alex has plant pots in 3, small, medium, and large. She has 400 pots in total. Then 2/5 are unused. So how many are unused? You can first of all find 2/5 of 400. 2 over 5 of 400. Okay, 5 and 40 is 8. Then you have the 0. So 2 times 80, and that will give you 160. So you have 160 pots, okay, unused. Now, for the unused pots, they gave you small, medium. You see this whole thing is common, like we've done in other videos. So small and medium is 1 to 3 here. Then medium to large is 1 to 4. So the challenge is to make medium the same. So let's put a medium to large, 1, 2, 4. So want to make medium the same. So you have to make 3 and 1 the same. And how do you do that? On this side, if you do times 3, and this side is good already, it can just be times 1, okay? Or times nothing. So it's still going to be 1 and 3 here. So you have 1 here, you have 3 here. And then, so you did times 1 there. On this side, you do times 3 times 3. Whatever you do to the left, you do to the right. So if you do times 3 here, 1 times 3 will give you 3 here, and 4 times 3 will give you 12. So you need to have a single ratio for this. So in getting a single ratio, you can just say this is 1 to 3, okay, to 12. That's small to medium to large. All right, what percentage of Alex pots are unused? What number are unused small pots? How do you get the small pots that are unused? Remember, there are 160 unused pots. So how do you get the number of the ones that are small? The ratio for small is 1. Take 1, divide by the total ratio. So 1 over 16. Total ratio is 16. 12 plus 3 is 15 plus 1. That's 16. Multiply by 160 over 1. So when you do that, 16 in 160 is 10. So you got 10 small pots, okay? Small unused pots. There are 10 of them. Now, what percentage are unused small pots? You take that 10, okay, over the total number of pots. Remember, at the beginning, they said there were 400 pots in total. So 10 over 400 multiply by 100 over 1. So 10 over 400 times 100 over 1. So when you do that, 2 zeros will divide 2 zeros. So you have 10 over 4. 10 over 4 is 5 over 2. And that's 2.5. So the answer is 2.5%. So I hope you follow through to see what we did. You can take the video back. What we did was we got the number of unused pots. After getting that, put the ratios together, make them just one single ratio, then get the number of the small pots. After getting for the small pots, you make it a percentage of the total. 5 marks. That's why it's 5 marks. Okay, so let's look at this question. You have this triangles, okay, on a parallel lines, on a parallel line. Okay, so how do we find CAB? So CAB is this one because A is right there. So what do we do? If this is 59, this is also 59. Okay. Now, because they are corresponding angles, those two are 59. And how do you get this angle? Sum of angles on a straight line is 180. So you can do 180 minus 122. Okay. So 180 minus 122, that is 58. So this is 58. So you have 59 plus 58. Then you take away from the sum of angles in a triangle is 180. Okay, so 180 minus that. So 59 plus 58 is 117. So when you subtract it, this is 3 and this is 6. So that means this angle is actually 63 degrees. Okay, so see what we did corresponding. This is there, then we use this too. So that's how we got 63 degrees. Next question, we have a cylinder. Pressure is force over area. Now we're looking for the force. So remember that volume is the area times the height. Okay, volume is area times height. So 4 times what is 24? Okay, so that's 6. That means your area is 6. So go back to the formula. Pressure is force over area. So if the area is 6 and then the pressure, okay, pressure is 60. We're looking for force. So pressure is 60 is equal to force over area. So you put the F here, cross multiply. F would be 60 times 6, which is 360. Okay, let's solve this question. This times this, 2 to the power of negative 3 times 2 to the power of 8. Remember, if you have the same base, you add the powers. So this is 2 to the power of negative 3 plus 8 is 5. Okay, you add negative 3 plus 8, that's 5. Then you do 2 to the power of 5 to the power of 2. Power inside multiplies the power outside. So 5 times 2 is 10. This is 2 to the power of 10. Okay, then looking at this question, there are 2 bags, bag A and bag B. So 5 and 3, 4 and 5 completes this. So how do we complete this? The red, if you're going to pick one red, so 3 out of 8. Then right here, for the second bag, the red is 4. The total is 9. So 4 out of 9. Remember, both of them must add up to give you 1, like 9 over 9, 8 over 8. And this is 5 out of 9, because 9 minus 4 is 5, okay? And this one, the same thing will happen here. This is 4 out of 9, and the other fraction is 5 out of 9. So the next question, work out the probability that Tina takes 2 blue counters. Okay, taking a blue counter is going to be 3 over 8. And taking a blue counter from here multiplied from here would be 5 over 9. So 3 over 8 times 5 over 9. That would give you 15 over 72. And the answer is 15 over 72. So I hope you learned something from this video. Thank you so much for watching. Okay, this is Fun Maths with Kenny. Subscribe and please like this video so we can be encouraged to post more videos. And thank you to Maths Genie as well for this paper. Okay, wishing you all the best in your GCSE exam. All right, you can do it. Remember, it just takes some thinking and practice. Good luck. See you next time. Bye.
Like and subscribe for more fun math videos at Fun Math with Kenny. Thanks for watching.